This is the End Zone. Let's move the chains. Oregon and USC. It seems like they are on a collision course for the Pac-12 championship and possibly the college football playoffs. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But this ain't your granddaddy's Oregon football team. They like to control both lines of scrimmage, play physical, shove it down your throat on offense. CJ Verdell, 105 yards. He's returning. Travis Dye also returning. He averaged 13 yards per carry on 6 rushes. He's one of the most talented backfields, in my opinion, in all of college football. I'm really excited to see how they pan out. Tyler Shuck is the new quarterback. He's going to have to be efficient. He's younger, 65% completion percentage in his opening game, 227 yards, a touchdown, a pick. They really used him in the run game a lot with some option plays, so I enjoyed seeing that. Offensively, 4 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown. That kind of tells you which way this Oregon team is going. They're not the flashy pass all over Oregon that you had a couple years ago. This is a very run-oriented, great defense type of team. Now, as a defense, they failed to generate a sack, so not much pressure. Stanford was able to run a little bit on him. They forced a ton of field goals, all of which were missed by Stanford. So Stanford had about 12 points in field goals that they were not able to get. That would have made this game a little bit closer. Jet Toner missed all of them, but the Oregon defense force those field goals. This is a closer game than the scoreboard tells you. Oregon has a huge test defensively next week versus Nick Rolovich and his run and shoot offense from Washington State. I'm really curious to see how this defense is going to fare because Stanford was missing a lot of players. So I don't know if this game is a good game to really judge Oregon's defense off of. Then they play UCLA, OSU, Cal, and Washington. So pretty easy schedule. I think Washington and Cal might be those hardest games really on that schedule. Now, this also ain't your granddaddy's USC football team with Graham Harrell implementing a new air raid system attack. The Trojans completed one of the wildest finishes I have ever seen in college football. Kedon Slovis was 40 for 55, 381 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. That's an air raid stat right there. 8 receivers had catches, and 3 had over 7 catches. Both Drake London and Amon-Ra St. Brown had 100 yards receiving. Well, this game until the fourth quarter felt like an Arizona State walk-away win, but they could not pass the ball on this defense because Frank Darby was sidelined, their starting wide receiver. But USC pulled off a late magical touchdown and an onside kick. They never quit. By the way, this game was at 9 a.m. for these Pac-12 players. You got to think that had some effect on their performance. I mean, I'm in college. I don't think I could play a football game or any sport at 9 a.m. USC won probably their toughest game of the regular season, with Arizona, Utah, Colorado, Washington State, and UCLA coming up next. That's a pretty easy schedule, if you're asking me. So Oregon and USC are my Pac-12 championship favorites by far. Now, my question to you is, if either Oregon or USC wins out, or any Pac-12 team, could be Washington, Cal, Washington State, will they make the playoffs? Because there are a couple things that are really blocking the Pac-12's chances at getting there. So first of all, weird schedules. This college football season definitely going to have an asterisk next to it, but there are more teams with 1 or 0 losses that are going to be contending for the college football playoffs, and we might have 2 SEC teams. We don't really know. We're going to wait it out and see. But will a 1-loss SEC team go in over, say, an undefeated Oregon or USC? Because the strength of schedule for these Pac-12 teams, it is not looking good right now. And I mean, if these are the 2 top teams in the Pac-12, Oregon and USC, they need to pass the eye test first, because the top teams in the ACC, so Notre Dame, Clemson, SEC, got Florida, Alabama, Big Ten, Ohio State, maybe Wisconsin. We're going to still find that out. They all look better, really and truly, than Oregon and USC looked. I know it's early in the season. They got to still get some kinks out, and this was their first game. But we really need to see improvement. We'll see how this goes. Do you think a Pac-12 team can make it to the college football playoffs? Thanks for watching the End Zone. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment so we can move the chains.